great to be here. As Jay said, the privilege I have to be the Executive Director of Crossroads Career. Well, what is that? I get a chance to nationally lead a faith-based organization that helps all people know that they are God's masterpiece, created for good works. I get a chance to educate and equip and encourage people like you, people like me, to hear God calling, to get the right job, and maximize their career. That's the privilege of what I get to do when I wake up every morning. And so glad to be here with you to share some of my spiritual resume with you as it really applies to Crossroads and how I got to be with the organization. The great thing is I am where I am today, but the not so great thing was, or you might say, is how I got there, or how I got here. And so I thought I'd share it with you a little bit, because like many of you, you may be unfulfilled in your work. You know, statistics say that over 70% of people in the American workforce are disengaged actively. That's a lot of work to be actively disengaged. Think about it. And then about 50% are unsatisfied with the work or the job that they have. So we have a tremendous opportunity to be able to educate, equip, and encourage. And where I was years ago in high school, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I graduated from Ohio State. Do we have any Steeler fans or Buckeyes in the room anywhere? All right, OH? Okay, yeah, we have a couple Wolverines here too. They're always around somewhere. But what I had a chance to do is have a great education, have a great loving family, but I didn't realize who God was until later on in life. I was telling some folks earlier today in a group I was in that I had a conversation with God. It was me telling him how much I hated him because he didn't give me what I wanted when I wanted it. But at least there was dialogue, right? He can handle that. But what that led me to was, because I didn't get what I wanted when I wanted it, was to go find it in the world, or go find it in people, or relationships, or things that may bring me what I thought was joy. And what I found was, most of the times, flat out in my face in a pit. Now that doesn't mean I wasn't working, or that doesn't mean I wasn't making an income. But what I was basing my journey on was things like the movie Secret of My Success. Anyone ever see that with Michael J. Fox? And that was what I thought I was going to be doing. I was going to be 25, sitting in Manhattan, right there, leading a company that just had a chance to hostilely take over, if that's even the right way to say that, and be a success, and then ride off into the sunset. Well, that kind of what I thought was truth didn't get me any of those dreams, didn't help me realize any of that. It just got me further into debt, further away from the people that I loved, and making a lot of promises that I couldn't keep. Led me to things like quitting a job without having a job, and then begging a couple weeks later for my job back. It led me to deep depression, drugs, alcohol, all kinds of relationships that weren't healthy for me. And after many years of doing that and filing bankruptcy financially at 25, it took me another 5 years after filing that bankruptcy at the age of 25, when life is supposed to be beginning, right? At 25 as a guy, it's when you start saving on your car insurance. That was when life really starts kicking in. But I was already a financial failure by the world's terms, by being bankrupt. And I was just telling someone the other day that that bankruptcy decision, while I don't regret it, it is a part of my story, and that's fine. That was 15 years ago. But I didn't realize all the consequences that would have came afterwards. Here I am thinking it would relieve me from all the financial obligations I had that were keeping me tied down. But in actuality, it did something much more deeper. I may have been free and clear of the financial issue, but I was spiritually bankrupt. And I thought the solution would be to move to Tampa, Florida. How many of you know your baggage follows you? My baggage followed me. The poor decisions, the same foundation, what I thought was truth, still got me spinning into circles. Again, I had a job, I was successful, I was earning 6 figures in a luxury wine distribution job. But I found myself unfulfilled and loathing myself. And in Tampa, on December 31st, 2006, I was walking home from a New Year's Eve party, just another New Year's Eve party, the same old people, The same old cheap wine, beer, and liquor. The same old, leaving at about 10 p.m. New Year's Eve before the fireworks went off and the ball dropped, disgusted with myself. Is this all there is in life? Is this all there's going to be? Really? This is what I'm here for? To continually, year after year, be in the same place? So I went home to my house in South Tampa, Florida, and I put a hanger around my neck and tried to strangle myself to death. Just over 12 years ago. And the word suicide has been coming up a lot recently in the paper, hasn't it? On the internet. But those are stars. We understand that. It's always tragic. But this happens every single day in the job market. People at their wits' end because they don't understand a few things that I didn't understand. But we're here to right the ship. I come with hope. I come with joy. I come with peace. I come with excitement. Because what I want to share with you will change your life as it did mine. See, only a week later, after not taking my own life, I met a man named Fritz Ruhe, a pastor, a Dutch pastor, who used to travel as a sound man with the Beach Boys, heard my story and loved on me like a father I never had. Now, I have a dad, I love my dad, but he was not a spiritual father. He did not teach me the ways of God and how to be raised as a man, and I think he did the best he could. But I didn't have some of that stuff. I confess all these things that I was going through with this man, and my life has been forever changed. A couple of weeks later, I was baptized after accepting Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and amazing things happened. At that church that I attended, called Grace Family Church in Tampa, I went to the lead pastor and said, I need a job. I need to go through a class called Financial Peace University. Has anyone ever been through or heard of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University? Amen. So I said to him, I'd like you to allow me to participate in it. You don't have it here at the or at church. I want to help make coffee or something like that. And he took me out for lunch, and he sat with me, and I showed him a plan of how we can make this ministry happen, how we could have financial peace at Grace Family Church. And he said, let me pray about it. I think I'd like you to lead it. I'm like, you're not the sharpest tool in the shed. You didn't just hear my story. At 25, I filed bankruptcy. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just ready to change. You want to choose me? How many of you know God calls the unqualified, and he qualifies the called? So, went from almost taking my own life to finding Jesus, to coming to a church who loved me for where I was at, that gave me the chance to lead a ministry when they had no business doing so. And over 3,000 people went through a ministry called Finance and Career Ministry at Grace Family Church because of how the Lord used this guy to lead others through the same kind of pain that he was once in himself. I started working at Grace Family Church as a vocational ministry director for over 7 years, and just recently left it to lead at Crossroads about 100 days ago. And how I got introduced to this Crossroads Career Ministry, of what y'all have been doing for so long here at RUMC, is because we use it ourselves at our church to help job seekers, to help the misemployed, the unemployed, and the unfulfilled hear God calling, maximize their career, and get the right job. And it's worked immensely. The stories we have aren't as many as you guys have, but they're powerful all the same. And what changed? What changed from when I was out of work, to filing bankruptcy, to having drugs and alcohol in my life, to almost taking my own life, to then finding Jesus, to then leading ministry, to then leading a national ministry? What happened? This truth I realized, and it's up on the screen for you, that I was, as you are, God's masterpiece. Not a one and done, but a one of a kind. God's masterpiece. Where's Mr. Naughton is here somewhere, and I heard him today at the Crossroads orientation. He said, just give yourself permission to dream a little bit. Can you imagine what God was dreaming about when he created you? Uniquely, fearfully, wonderfully made, one of a kind, not one and done, one of a kind. Can you imagine what he was thinking? So I think of like a Bob Ross painting, although I don't know if God has the same hair. But we're going to do a little of this. We're going to do a little of that. We're going to craft this a little bit here. uniquely and wonderfully made. You are God's masterpiece. And you are created for good works. Not to walk with your head down, not to be the hunchback in Notre Dame, not to be disappointed, frustrated, angry. I've been there. My attitude stunk for 2 years, even in ministry. Is this all there is? The same thing over and over? He didn't make us for that. He made us as a masterpiece, created for good works. And that's what God allowed me to experience when I didn't take my own life. When He lifted me up out of the ashes and showed me how I could help others. But first by helping myself. If I did not stick around on this earth with y'all, if I would have taken my own life, I would have missed out on my beautiful wife. 7.5 years we've been married, since 2011. Less than 5 years after that night, December 31st. And then I would have missed out on these two gorgeous kids that look like my wife. Grayson is 3, and Ella is 9 months. I don't really want to be with you all. I want to be home. But think about it. What is God waiting for you to do? He's already done the work, but He wants you to experience it with Him. You are in the right place to do that. You got the tools to do that. You got people here that want to help you. You got my team nationally that wants to come alongside of you, so that you always know and realize that you are God's masterpiece, created for good works. Take it in. It's always true, will always be. What are we going to do about it? How we can come alongside of you to help you realize. That, by the way, is our vision statement, that all people realize they're God's masterpiece created for good works. So when they meet Brian Horvath, there's something we've talked about that helps them realize that. That's my life purpose and vision. Go to crossroadscareer.org, crossroadscareer.org, and as a job seeker or an employer in this room, you could sign up for free to be able to meet each other online, to be able to get the resources and tools you need, to be able to get fired up about, that you're God's masterpiece, and to start working as you were created for good. God bless you guys.